Hello. Hello. I'm not sure if you're seeing this. I'm very good at a lot of things, but technology is not for me. Hello. Can you just let me know that you're there and I'm there and you can see me? Excellent. Excellent. Okay. So I'm Judy. Um, I don't know where to start really. I have been a relaxed kids coach for about 5 years. I've been a charge up coach since the original training, the pilot training with Monetta. That was a really amazing thing to do with a lot of amazing people. Um, I've been asked to do an interview um, with Monetta. Um, but I think there's some problems with Facebook. I'm still having those problems. Um, and so, uh, what I'm going to do is just give you some answers to some questions that I think you might be interested in knowing, because I have a slightly different take on the charge up. Um, I've been a holistic therapist for 40 years, and in that time, I have also taught drama, I've taught singing, I've taught creative writing. Last year, I did a master's degree in creative writing and drama for social change, and that tied in really well with charge up training and relaxed kids, because for me, both of those trainings are for social change. Why I'm a little bit different is that I work in a prison. I work in a young offenders prison. So that's a little bit different to people who work in primary or work in schools. I originally became a relaxed kids coach because I noticed all the problems that kids were having in the drama classes, in the singing classes, and they were coming to me asking things, and I didn't necessarily have the tools to deal with it. So that's originally why I did the relaxed kids. However, what I did notice was that older children didn't have anything or anywhere to go. They don't talk to the parents. I've been using a lot of chill skills, which comes with relaxed kids, but needed something a little bit more grown up. Is that a fair word? Because I also run workshops for adults. And so 5 years ago, needing to take a little bit of a break from being a holistic therapist, I decided to teach creative writing and drama in young offenders. I don't know what you want to call it. It is actually a prison, a young offenders institute. These are boys between 15 and 18. What's really sad about it is they 80% of them have adverse childhood experiences. That means that they often have PTSD, learning difficulties, but they also don't have any skills, they don't have any coping mechanisms, no one's nurtured them, they all think the worst of themselves and therefore they think the worst of others. So I wanted to do something around that. I'd been talking to Marnetta on and off for a while about what we could perhaps do for older kids, and couldn't absolutely believe me luck when Charge Up came. The difference is at the moment and generally for young adults, what they need is agency and tools and support, things that they perhaps never had or things that they don't get from the other people in their lives. That's the sort of way that I see it. They want a bit of fun as well. And while on the subject of fun, I've run some workshops with staff at the prison, which, as you can imagine, is very much needed. And what I found with them is they absolutely loved the relaxed kids stuff, because it was giving them the chance to be playful. And again, as adults, we don't often be playful. So they absolutely loved the Huggy Bear 1, 2, 3. They loved we did a pebble where they had to write a word and give it to somebody else. Obviously, we didn't give those to the boys because they would become weapons. But the adults in the prison absolutely loved the younger stuff. The older boys, interestingly, always do that thing that boys or young people do, which is, I'm not doing it, I don't want to do it, I'm not doing it. You can't make me. But actually, what happened is they love it. They absolutely love it. They don't tell me that they love it. They'll tell other people that they love it. My daughter started work recently there, and they told her, like, oh, I didn't know she was your mum. She's all right, isn't she? And she's praised indeed in a prison. So what they find is that they pick out what works for them out of the tools that I give them. And one of the things that is really difficult is actually physically giving them anything, because obviously safeguarding is massive. I have given them feathers, I've given them They've made their own little boxes to put things in. They've got journals. We use a lot of things like I'm not really sure how much you can see here, um, but this is one of my wonderful. It's my brain. It's like my brain when it comes to technology, and it opens up, and they can see like what bits of brain works with what, and you can link that to the meerkat. Even though they are, older kids, um, they like the puppets. I mean, I can't begin to tell you. We had to calm down with the puppets because they were doing all sorts. But they eventually linked what they were doing with the parts of the brain. Um, it's giving them things that they can use for themselves. One of the things that they absolutely love is growing roots. So what's been difficult for me is when I'm at the prison, I either run Relax Kids as part of a lesson. So the charge up will be 5 minutes at the beginning or 5 minutes at the end, or sometimes I run a session a week, um, particularly for more difficult kids. Um, but they have picked up things like they say they love roots, they love growing roots. Like if they're about to kick off, they know that they have to grow roots. Because I work in now a small unit with very challenging boys, um, they've all got their own music. And some of it is Relaxed Kids music, and they can go and put that on. So we do have to give them that leeway. As I said to you, 80% of them had adverse childhood experiences, and that's something that we need to bear in mind at all times. That those are the things that have got them to the place that they're in. So they don't have the normal parameters of behaviour or understanding. They don't understand somebody telling them they're good at something. They don't understand that somebody praising them. It's really quite heartbreaking. So the affirmation stuff is very, very important, and getting them to praise each other. Um, and as I said to you before, they don't necessarily like to sell me to my face, but I hear it. I hear it roundabout. Um, I do have to tell you that the prison is really quite interesting talking to Marnetta. I work for a company that provides education for all the young offenders' prisons, and they're looking more to do with well-being, and Ofsted are looking more to do with well-being. Um, and I have been in some quite big meetings, and I have mentioned Marnetta a number of times, and what they're sometime in the future, but they're looking at this being something that could be rolled out. Um, and why I like to be part of Relax Kids. I've said at the beginning, I've been a therapist for 40 years. I've run workshops. I've worked with very famous people. I've worked with the man next door. I've worked with everything. Um, but when you're self-employed, it's a really difficult gig. So when you've got Relax Kids at the back of you, you can go on the website and have a moan at somebody. You can ring up somebody. You can talk to Marnetta. Marnetta's there if you want her. She's not some remote person. Um, so you've had a bad day. You don't know what to do. You think you've made a mistake. You've got people backing you. And let me tell you, that is such a huge, huge thing when it comes to working. Like I say, 40 years of being self-employed. You've nobody to bounce off. You've nobody to help. Um, I am going to tell you something that's actually quite funny, but also really relevant. Going on to rolling out Relax Kids. So I had a group of kids who were called Upskills. Now nobody wanted these kids. Nobody wanted them. I gave them. I don't know if any of you have them. Those little yellow stretchy men to fiddle with. The next teacher in after me, the maths teacher, told me that they were all over the ceiling because apparently they stick if you lick them. So we didn't use those again. But these kids actually did love it. They did love it in a very raucous way. Um, unfortunately for me, I was detailed to have these kids the day of Ofsted. The day of Ofsted. Uh, I didn't know whether to threaten them, bribe them, or just go with it. So what we did every time we started with, they all stood up and they did a little rolling the neck around and moving their arms about, and they absolutely love. Do you know the dance where you do your phone number on the floor, like you do the numbers on the floor dancing? They absolutely love that. Maybe they're trying to find out what my mobile number is, but they never will because I can't move that fast. But they love that. We do a little bit of movement. Um, because of safeguarding, and again, I'm not sure how much you can see, I use these for massage. These are like little ladybird things, but these are the feet for massaging, so they can massage each other with these, and it's safe to do so. So um, they always did that to each other. We did some affirmation, we did all sorts of stuff. So there we were, rolling our necks around and moving our shoulders. And the Austin inspector came in and introduced himself and said his name was Tony. And he sat down and he looked at my lesson plan, and I was sweating and I'm looking at these kids and thinking, I don't know what to do. And one of the boys went, "Now then, Tony lad, sit this end down. Do you know what we do in this class? We do a bit of relaxation and a bit of massage." And he sat the Austin inspector down and massaged him with the ladybird. Made him take his jacket off, made him join in. And I thought at this point, this is going to go one of two ways. I'm going to get the sack, or he's going to love it. Anyway, he went off. The boys were lovely. One of them had also got the meerkat puppet. Now, quite frankly, this is weird, I think, but he'd got the meerkat puppet, and he was talking to Tony through the voice of the meerkat puppet. So I was like, don't know what to do now. A couple of hours later on, got a call from the head of education. This is it. And he said, Ofsted were absolutely stunned. They were amazed that we did such things, that every school should do this, that the boys were engaged, that they enjoyed it, that they'd given him good feedback, that's what they wanted them to do. This was from Ofsted. This was quite a senior Ofsted guy. So far from being sacked, which I did suspect, I was like the queen of the prison just for that afternoon. And since then, we've had lots of people visit from other prisons. We have a lot of boys with autism. We have a lot of boys with all sorts of special needs. And sometimes we do just do a bit of massage, a bit of relaxation before they start the lesson, or as a bit of a reward after the lesson. We do have a snoozelen, which I'm not fully conversant with. That's something I might need to talk to my editor about, and how we can incorporate some stuff into that. So, really, I think what I'm saying is, you think of relaxed kids in terms of going into schools or going into school, like halls, like scout huts or whatever they are, or running sessions. But actually, working in places like young offenders or prisons, or I do a little bit of work. My mum has dementia, so I do a little bit of work with her and some of her friends. It's called a friendship club. They mostly just eat chocolate, but we do little bits there. And what I can do with them is make stuff. So we make little oils in roll-ons that they can use for relaxation or sleep, or but they're all incorporated. Everything you need is in charge of everything. If you're caught on the hop, you can turn to your book and it's there. You can ring somebody and ask for a bit of help. So I really have never looked back from doing it. Interesting. It's an interesting and exciting place to be. Lockdown, obviously, because of safeguarding, I haven't been into prison. I've been working from home, sending in lesson plans, which I understand they've been making into paper aeroplanes. So what I have been doing, because we're not allowed to contact them by phone, or we're not allowed to Zoom, or we're not allowed to anything, I've been emailing a senior officer, like what can I say, like a newsletter, and he's photocopied the newsletter and put one under the door of each boy. And on the newsletter, there was a mandala to fill in. There was a little reminder about their roots, um, a couple of affirmations, and then I added a little bit of personal stuff that I know about them. So, uh, if it's the boy that doesn't sleep very well, I've reminded him what he should be doing. And I've done one of those every week. So it's like the charge up newsletter, I suppose, which is the only way I could continue the work with them. Um, my mister actually asked me earlier on what would be my dream. Um, but like most relaxed kids or charge up coaches, our dream is often for other people. Um, and I think I would like everyone to have some sense of peace, even if it's for 30 seconds. Um, and I think we can, it don't work. Meditation doesn't work for everybody. Some of the boys will sit there wondering what to put on the canteen sheet. Um, I've done adult meditation where they're doing the shopping list in the head. Um, but what works is them, maybe drawing or um, just other stuff. They do absolutely. I don't know if you can still buy these, but they do absolutely love um, the massaging tools, um, and you can get them. You can get them to do each other. I mean, obviously, there's lots of safeguarding around that, so you have to know, your boundaries there. But um, and my own dream, I think. I mean, I'm 61. I'm nearly 62. Um, if the government had kept the promise, I would be retired now. But I think I think maybe I would like to do more charge up um, in different settings. I've not quite seen how or where. Maybe to get to some of these kids before they come to me. So, if we can raise their self-esteem or their empathy before they do the stuff that gets them to come to me, that would be amazing. And to be honest, that starts with early years. It doesn't start at 14, it starts at early years. So, um, really, I don't know what to say. Marnetta for Queen, I don't know. I don't know what else to say. That's me and my life and what I think about charge up. Um, and as a holistic therapist, it dovetails very nicely into the stuff I've used all my life. So, thank you for listening. Has anybody got any questions? Well, that's very nice, Yolanda. I thank you for saying, look, fantastic. It's maybe because I've been in the garden for the last 6 weeks. Getting a bit of a tan. Roots are showing now. Need my hairdresser back. So if anybody, I mean, outside of here, if anybody wants to contact me and ask about working with older kids, then please do. Um, I don't know if it's behind me. I have got a very good book called Getting the Buggers to Behave. A little bit of information in there about behaviour. Um, but it's really, it's really all about being on their level. You know, it's like you relax kids, nobody's the boss, everybody's working together. Um, oh, that's nice, Gillian. I've got hundreds of them. That's why I write. I will write a book one day. Um, and there's, if just for interest, if anybody does teach, there's an amazing book called Funds of Knowledge, um, and that's about how we have to tap into kids' backgrounds in order to teach them. You know, it's no good teaching them, for me. It's no good teaching them how to make a souffle if they don't know how to make a spag bowl. Is really, you know, I teach them to cook as well, which they find therapeutic. And what I sometimes do is take the whole load at the bottom of my fridge, um, and just dump it on the table and go, right, what we're going to do with this? Because they will have to do that in life. So I think the stuff that we teach them is giving them stuff out of the fridge to survive. We're giving them the stuff out of the fridge to survive. We're giving them, you know, affirmations. We're telling them that they're good. Um, as indeed, you know, you all are my family. Anyway, I've got to go now because I need a cup of tea. So please, please contact me if you want to know about older kids. I'm always there. Thank you. Thank you.